Judge.
Okay. It looks like we're closing the breakout room. They sent me a message.
Perfect.
So it should close here in about 15 seconds. Okay, we have everyone back with us. Mr. Heflin, did you all have an opportunity to reach an agreement?
No, Your Honor, we were not able to come to an agreement.
Okay, all right. And is each side ready to proceed?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
All right. All right, Mr. Ruzicka, this is your case, so if you'd like to present testimony or evidence at this time, I will allow that. If you want to use your interpreter, that is fine also. If I could have you both raise your right hands to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, I swear.
Yes,
All right, thank you.
I swear. Acho minha muleta para transferir.
Então, acho que tem aqui, né?
Okay. So, okay, one second. Just, Your Honor, we are humans, you know, we understand that anybody can get in a misfortune, loss of job, get affected by COVID. It got affected, you know, we understand that. So to begin with, we had quite a bit of sympathy and a heart with the tenants, and we were patient. And but in the end, or in the middle of it, somehow they decided to take an advantage of the situation, of the current situation, and just take advantage of it and save, not to pay anything, and save some money for other stuff, maybe their car or future rent, and just decided not to cooperate financially, zero. When they moved in May 11th, 2020, they both worked. Randy was screening company, doing especially screening, but as I understood, is overall handyman, works with hands, supposed to be hardworking, and she was taking care of some person, and etc. So we did not have any foreseeing this coming situation. Since June, from their own money, they managed to pay in June $240 and $450 from Catholic charities, and we have not seen anything all the way when we started to talk to them in October. They sent us the memorandum, the federal memorandum banning landlords to evict the tenants until December 31st. But locally in state of Florida, Governor DeSantis, he banned the temporary halt on eviction, and it expired October 1st at noon. We have talked to them in several times and addressing financial issues and other issues that I will get to. We did try to talk to them seriously that they are being threatened by eviction with their approach of not paying any rent. They need to start to contribute to the rent, that they would have to start coming with rent weekly. In October, it happened twice, 300 and 300. That's what we agreed, because we did say that if they cannot start paying, we will start the eviction process. Unfortunately, we even tried to generate work for Randy, because we knew that he is working with his hands, doing all kind of jobs, repairs, etc. So I have made him offer, you know, you are able to mow a lawn in Naples Park. You can get there, lawn mower provided, everything provided, $80 cash. You can install a ceiling fan, $25. That offer was not taken because Randy was supposedly too busy, but we didn't get any money that following week. So somewhere at the point, they decided for them it's more useful not to pay us anything and just sit tight and make it through as long as they can. In the summertime, they do provided us with the federal memorandum, and it's affidavit. It's in the Exhibit A under their parts that they filed with the court. In the section that they agree that that's what they are doing is exactly wording. I am using best efforts to make timely partial payment that are as close to the full payment as the individual's permits may exist. As you see with the history, July 0, August 0, September 0, October 600 instead of 1170, November 0, it's not a best effort to make it as close to the full payment. Second, I understand that that's what it's in the in the agreement that they signed that they are doing. I understand that I must still pay rent or make housing payment and comply with other obligations that I have under my tenancy lease agreement or similar contract. So when I filed it with our rental agreement. The rental agreement has a part, it's under Exhibit A. It has a part, obligations of tenant. And in that obligations of tenant, there is part 6, to keep no pets on the rental property without written consent of the owner. When we were away in June, July, August, sometimes we were in Czech Republic, they have moved in pets, and the pet is a pig with no asking for permission, no notice, nothing, just the pig appeared and it's there. So it's
inside.
Living on the property inside and outside, by the way. And as well with the money that they decided, that they will be kind of keeping somewhere, they have managed to purchase a car. They did have a car when they moved in, red car. Sometimes, we don't know exactly when, lost the car. Sometimes we don't know exactly when, October, not sure, November, acquired a white car. That's I have the license plate and the type of the car. So just there is more, we were trying to, they were the troubled one, not paying rent. We were trying to come up, you have to come talk to us. You have to solve it with us. You need to, we have been, Thomas has been renting property for many, many years. We both are Christians, we both have a heart. We did try to advise them, guide them, work. We would be willing to do more than maybe other landlords will do, get them a payment calendars, certain things like that. But there is a clear advantage from their side and lack of willingness to participate financially, because in the end, it's a business, it's a rental property. It's not a charity, a rental housing in the Naples Park where we live. We have to pay, we still continue our obligations. We pay water bill as normal. We paid property taxes as normal. As well, Mr. Randy has discount on the rent. Normally we would rent it for $1,200 because of his supposedly hardworking and stuff. We did give them a $30 discount, $11.70, that he will mow the grass in both properties. He did that, but sometimes in October he quit. So the other tenant is reaching to me that her grass is not mowed, that she's paying somebody or arranging somebody to get it cut, and the neighbors complain for pig smell, the pig smell from the waste, that they don't take the garbage in a timely manner. There is a problem with drugs, more specifically marijuana smoke, that it gets through the exhaust to the other apartment. There is problem with, there is a youth girl in the other apartment, and she's sort of afraid to stay alone in the house because there's some unknown people,
under influence.
So there is some fights, and the neighbors reach out to me that there is a disturbance in the property. And one second, do we have anything?
We did try to solve it with them many times.
Before
we were making them like payment calendar, and we were trying to only just to pay the rent, forget the money you owed already 2 months. We can manage it later. Just you have to, what you need to start to pay the rent. It was impossible for them to start pay the rent.
Just we kind of tried to reach to them before it got out of hand. Probably they were hopeful for a while. There will be probably their argument. They managed to get $450 in June from a Catholic charity, and probably in September there was another possibility that they were telling us that they have some money coming from another charity, and Nicole reached out to me that she texted me that she needs to send W-9 to this and this email. I have, at that moment, she didn't give me enough time or a time frame when it needs to be done until. I was pretty much relocating my friend across the country. We were moving here. So I was driving pretty much 10 hours a day for 3 days. And I got to that task as soon as I could, which was probably the fourth day that I received the text message. And somehow the Catholic charity might have been too late, but honestly, believe us, it was not. I would definitely we would be interested to be getting the money. So I was not trying to sabotage it at no way. But they had a lot of time between that misfortune situation that the Catholic charity ran out of money in the meantime, to be trying to then generate the money somewhere else or other sources. But it just, until today, which is like December 18th, it just didn't happen. And they are owing, when I was filing, it was $5,730. When we get December to it, 1170, they are $6,900. So
I'm sorry, what was that amount again?
6,900.
Thank you.
Including December.
And we are not really talking about, let's say in our agreement, and it's like, if it's their unwritten consent path, it's like $50 to each month since the beginning of the lease. I'm not adding that at this moment where we are talking it.
Okay.
Just to add it, something, we start with them, like to work with them, but it was almost impossible. It was impossible, and now they are getting a threat for their environment, for the other tenant, for the whole environment. They are coming, strange people under influence, and they have a unbelievable smell from the house, from the pig, and the source of cockroaches and other possible stuff what you can imagine. So, it's hard to deal with them now.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. Heflin, did you have any questions for the plaintiff or the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. I will ask a few questions. And first, I'd like to make a brief statement about, what's actually going on. And I understand too that, everybody's trying, y'all are trying to work with my clients, and with this pandemic and everything, and people facing homelessness the spread of the virus, and I understand that everyone's had some hardships. And I will say that my clients have made efforts. They have made efforts to get charities to help with everything, and but unfortunately, like they said, we're not able to come to an agreement of what's happening. And so I'll begin with my questions. You mentioned, I guess, Mr. Tomas, y'all mentioned that there was a Catholic charity that was willing to pay all the back rent. Is that right? From your understanding?
There is not. We just know from Nicole that she has been trying to get a charity to pay some rent. I did hear something about maybe 2 months of rent, but we have never really talked to the charity in person or directly. So it's kind of like information that we have to believe that Nicole said to us that was the case. But it was pretty much after the fact. It was after the fact that they were, kind of angry that the Catholic charity ran out of the money in the meantime, and it was just thrown to us. Like, by the way, we could have got money, but didn't.
Okay, so did the Catholic charity ever reach out to you individually?
No.
So they never reached out to you?
No.
Never had an email or a conversation with them?
No.
At all?
No, that's as far as my knowledge.
And if they want some money from the charity, they have like almost 3
Your
or
Honor,
4
I
months.
just asked, when I asked the question, that
Okay.
they answered the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, if you could just answer the question and stick with the answer to the question.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so, but it was your understanding that possibly 2 months' rent would have been paid if the W-9 may have been turned in on time to the charity?
It's yes, that's what I was told by Nicole after the fact.
And when you're saying after the fact, are you
Meaning
saying
like
after the charity ran out of money?
yes, because there was yes, because I did state it to judge. There was pretty much lack of communication and explaining from Randy and Nicole to us what they are doing, what's going on. We had to really beg for some meeting and some words from them.
Okay, thank you. Also, you mentioned a discount that you said it was like $30 in the very beginning, concerning about mowing the grass and doing different things for you. That's why you gave them a $30 discount. Was this written into the lease agreement?
Yeah, it's in agreement. It's the obligation allocated expenses between owner and tenant paid by tenant. Cut the grass.
Yes, but the $30 a month discount, was that in the actual agreement?
No, it's not.
Okay, thank you.
Meaning like we would have normally asked them to pay $1,200 and we would leave a company to pay the grass. Okay, so it was a good effort from us not to, instead of paying company to cut the grass, that Randy can pay.
And Randy did it twice.
It's, not saving for us. It was a saving for the
Your Honor.
Go ahead.
I believe they answered the question. Also, so it's my understanding too, has Randy ever offered to fix anything around the house for you that may have been broken?
When they moved in before we left in June, because we had to leave shortly after they said, we were happy that he is handyman, that we can ask him maybe some things to be done in the future. But he did ask me, can I, like certain things, do you mind if I cut the tree down here? That it was not, they didn't like it, it was in a way. So I said yes, and they wanted to make a fireplace. So yes, they cut the tree down, cleared it up, and it was tiny tree, not a big one, honestly, and made a fireplace. It was more like a favor to them because I was not interested to have a fireplace there. I mean, fire pit.
Okay,
And there was only one part that they helped when they moved in. Would not be more than 3-4 hours of work. There was a cleared off a backyard from some stuff that was left from the previous tenants.
okay. What about work for the lanai? Did Randy ever fix the lanai for you?
He said when I come back from in August from Czech Republic, he said that, by the way, I was able to use some material from the screening. I did rescreen the lanai, but I was like, that's nice, thank you. But the screen to begin was functional and it was good looking. So it was, we didn't have any prior agreement that he will do that, and not a, so he did it on his own terms that I would not be complaining for, but it was not like a prior agreement that he wants to do that. When I came and they didn't pay any money, some partially in June, July, and August, they started to talk that he wants to one day redo the bathroom and to get off the shower and put a tub. And I was just like, okay, where they are coming from, because it was just my personal opinion, that's all. Just because they were not caught up with money and you know what I mean? So, and
Okay.
shower was functional.
Okay, so it's your position that there was never any agreement that the work that they completed around the house, whether it's lanai or any other things, would be maybe offset of some of the rent that was owed, or possibly.
That's the part, sir, that actually, when we wanted to talk to them in September, we would actually love to hear that parts. You know what I mean? That maybe if I do this or I do that, let's talk financial. Let's talk work. Let's talk something that we can solve it. It just didn't happen. When they moved in, they did, as I said.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop you.
Sure.
Go ahead, Mr. Heplin. You can ask your next question.
Okay. I guess my next question is going to be just to reiterate with you. So it's your position that the work, and this would be, you can say yes or no or however you want to answer it, but
Sure.
the work that they did around the house would the materials, whether they bought it or used it to fix these things, they are you saying they never requested money or a refund for those material or the work?
No, I was just told that he did do a rescreening and some, probably not the whole lanai, but I would say maybe 70% of it he showed me, and that was not requested. And the first one, the clearing of the yard, we would be willing to forgive them some part of the rent, considering 4 or 5 hours of work. But it's just we never got to the rent part, so we couldn't have not done it.
Okay. And the last thing I want to address with you about the pet issue, and I know this is really this suit is actually brought on non-payment of rent. It's not for non-compliance with the lease.
Understand.
So did you ever deliver to them a notice to get rid of the pets? A
No.
written notice?
No.
All right. Your Honor, I have no further questions for them.
All right.
However, sir?
Yes?
Oh, I thought you said something. I'm sorry.
No. So, Mr. Heplin, the allegations here are that the tenants, Mr. Humison and Ms. Shawless have not paid their rent. I don't see any money in the court registry. Why should I proceed with this hearing since no payment has been made to the court registry?
Well, I think that I understand that the payment hasn't been made. However, just because payment hasn't been made into the court registry or even to them full payments, I still believe that my clients are protected under this CDC's agency order, at least for being able to stay for now and not be forced out onto the streets into homelessness. So as far as that part's concerned, I feel like my clients are protected under the CDC agency order.
Protected from not paying into the registry?
No, I nowhere in there in the agency order. Obviously, it states that the client, that they are, required to pay rent or fees will still incur. That's not going to go away. However, they are protected as far as, being able to stay right now and not be forced into homelessness. So as far as possession is concerned, that I would argue that they are protected under the CDC agency order.
Okay. Do you want to present any testimony as it relates to the amount that the plaintiffs are claiming that is owed, and that amount would be the $6,900, including the December, which would include the December rent?
The only testimony that as far as rent's concerned, they are not going to challenge the amount of rent that was paid. They were allocated correctly the payments from the charities that they received. So we don't have an argument for the amount of rent that is owed.
All right. So the defense is in agreement that there's $6,900 that is due in back rent and current rent.
We're in agreement that is the amount of back rent that is owed.
Okay. All right, give me one moment.
Yes.
Ne, to už to neříkají, to je egoitní. Akorát, on to asi podepíše, že mají být pryč, jo, ale jestli chceš je tam nechat do 26.
Jo, že tam může být
Okay. All right, based on the testimony here today, as well as a review of the complaint and the answer and the attachments, I am in agreement with you, Mr. Heflin, that the CDC guidelines, based on the affidavits that were filed by your clients, prevents me from evicting them currently until after December 31st of 2021. However, I'm going to find the defendants in default for failing to timely deposit the back rent into the registry, and I'm going to issue final judgment in the amount of $6,900 to the plaintiff, and I will be ordering a writ of possession to be entered at the expiration of the CDC temporary halt on evictions. Now that, as of today, like I said, is December 31st. However, if that's extended, then we'll have to wait until the end of that extension in order for me to issue the writ of possession.
Takže by ještě se tam, oni tam budou bydlet do té doby do 20. So if I understand it right, we can file for the writ of possession after 31st of December this year.
So what I'm doing in cases like this is I'm basically writing up the writ of possession and holding it until the expiration.
Okay.
Okay. So basically it's sitting on my desk until the expiration of the CDC rules.
I have one question. We were thinking about the Florida eviction ban, and the Florida eviction ban was cancelled on 1st October. So why was this cancelled when the federal moratorium is still go on?
Well, because the federal CDC rule trumps the state law.
Okay.
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 All right. Any questions or additional anything from you, Mr. Heflin?
No, Your Honor, the only thing I would just ask, because I know the CDC may expire, but we also have some legislation that may come out. And in the event that Congress does create additional protections for evictions, would you be willing to hear that as well if the CDC does expire?
So obviously you can file any motions that may come about because of new legislation prior to December 31st, and we can conduct an emergency hearing. Okay. All right. If nothing else, thank you, everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, Ruby, I'm gonna issue a default, and then, like I said, I'll hold on to the writ of possession.
Perfect. I did just enter writ of possession to be issued at the expiration of the CDC halt on evictions.
All right, very good.
So at least it's notated in the court file.
Okay. All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great day.
All right, thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.